Good morning, community. Take a deep breath. It's like, why not, right? Good morning to excuse me, West Coast. Good afternoon on the East Coast. How are you today? It probably would be it'd do good if I knew the numbers. I could say we're on day whatever of this experience. All I've been doing is counting the months. March 13th to April 13th, May 13th, June 13th, July 13th, and in a moment it will be August 13th. How are you? How are you today? Want to stop by. Um, I was thinking, well, I guess I was really feeling, yeah, here it comes. I don't think this is a place I go much because when I was growing up, I would tell myself, you don't have time to be in this space right here because you have to do what's required of you no matter what is going on in the world. And so I would move through and push through so many things in life. Hi, C. Thompson in New York. Good afternoon, my dear. And I think because I pushed through it, it helped me not feel it. But it's all in my throat now. I wrote a post on my Facebook page because I was really kind of thinking about everything that's going on. Not really let people off the hook, but to deal with the reality. And as I keep reading, the miseducation of the Negro and keep putting pieces together, I just realized that being a person of color in America takes its toll. When we let it, we don't have time to let it. We just keep doing and keep going because that's what we have to do. And it's important for all of us to pay attention to our mental health because we're getting so much onslaught of negative comments and energies that oftentimes we just take it on. And because we got to keep moving. It's like nobody has time for tears. Nobody has time to be dealing with that. We've got to stay on task. And so when I was writing the post, I thought, wait a minute. Now, in some regards, we're all in this together. Because everyone on this planet in America has been indoctrinated. And we've all had that same indoctrination. I sat in the Los Angeles public schools and did English and did not get my history. I got the Greek history, I got the European history, I got Britain's history, but I didn't get Black history. I don't even know if I knew then that I didn't get my history. And so instead, we were all given what America said, this is the truth. The truth is, this is our country. We built it. We stand for it. And these are the bylaws that are basically going to govern it. But that wasn't the truth. Christopher didn't come here and it was an empty land and nobody had been here ever before and it was a whole new planet or something, a part of the earth. People of color have built so much of this land. And it amazes me that America doesn't want to give you any credit for it. Our history didn't start with slavery. Does anybody know that we had a history? Do you know the Black inventors that built this country? No, it's not in the books, right? So we've all been indoctrinated, but that indoctrination has been against. The indoctrination was come together, work together, build a world and a community that children would be proud of. The indoctrination was everybody is better than the Black people from the very beginning. They're nothing, they're lazy, they don't work, they're not smart, they're not good for anything. But nobody knows the history of our people before slavery. The kings, the queens, the inventors, the Black man who did the first computers and the IBM and everything. Nobody knows all that. I didn't know until I looked at Hidden Figures for like the fourth or fifth time that while I was sitting there watching it happen, it was Black women who helped John Glenn get to space. Our value doesn't get any bigger than that. And yet America has created an entire country based on minimizing discrediting. I want to see people of color. Now, Latinos get it a little bit less because America has made them the poster children of they will work. They will stand on the corners. They will sell their fruits. They will do this. They will work. But no, black people, they don't do anything. Lazy, shiftless. But nobody thinks about the drugs that they put in our community on purpose. Nobody thinks about how they're making money off of black men in prison. America's still making money off of black folks while they're constantly talking about how bad we are. That we still have substandard schools. That's where private schools came from. Let's put our kids over here in the private schools, primarily white, of course. They'll get the great education, and we'll just give them something. They don't know. They don't care. Pulled all of the potential vocational trainings out of the schools in the black communities so they would have resources. So this is the indoctrination. These people must be pushed down, put down their whole existence. And it's interesting because when I was writing, I thought, why? Why, America, are you so concerned about POCs? What is it that people of color have done to you? Given that we're not in charge, we don't have all the money, what is it? And then what is it about the other cultures that are so willing to agree with America? Just America will put us down. America will put you down too if you get in this way. As opposed to us coming together and uniting. And that's where it takes a toll. Because that means what America has created is working. Everybody is against black people. We've lived with it for years and years and years and years and years and years until now. So we've all been indoctrinated. So while the focus may be on what's happening, it also is on each of us individually to look at ourselves, to look at our indoctrination, to look at what we truly do believe and what we will and will not stand for. I kept asking God, I've been asking God and praying to understand how come we're in this position. I know we're the chosen ones. They just let Nick Cannon go because he told the truth. We were the first ones here. And I've been saying, what is our role? We are a meek people. We don't go around fighting anybody. I mean, we are so meek that we will go and fight in a war for people who don't even want us, but we'll go fight for a country that doesn't want us. So we all have this indoctrination. And I still ask, why, America? You just don't want to acknowledge the input, particularly that African Americans and black men, Negroes, whatever name you want to use that you're naming us, have made to this country. How come? Why? What is it you're so afraid of in telling the truth? But I get it, because it's like when you go to somebody's house, they have certain rules in their house. You go to somebody else's house, well, they may have a different rule. I grew up that, I can't remember, did I look at TV during the week? I don't know if I even looked at TV during the week. If I did, I looked at 1 or 2 shows during the week and went to bed. You may go to somebody else's house and they look at TV all the time. You may go over here and they don't even have TVs. So each house has different things. They have different rules. So I guess that's the way it is here. The rules for black people is not enough, not good enough, not smart enough, and not worthy enough. So we all have been indoctrinated to this, and how do we begin to make some shifts and changes? Because those are all lies. And then how do we take care of ourselves so we don't take the toll on? It's a lot to walk around in country and in places, and you can see people looking at you. And you can see the look like, why are you here? What do? You weren't supposed to be here. But you even weren't supposed to have enough money, enough talent, enough skills or smarts to be in this environment. So how do we begin to shift that? How do we stop looking at each other like, I'm better than you? Because I get that some people that are not POCs, you like having this superiority. You like thinking you're better than others. You like putting your foot on someone's neck. That white is right. The Aryan nation, is that what it was years ago? And yet the only white woman who seems to tell the truth is Jane Elliott, who says that we all came from a black woman and that your skin is lighter simply because you moved further away from the sun. And yet I see you at the beach getting the same tan that you want. So you can be brown, but you only want to be it temporarily because you don't want what it takes to be a person of color in America. You have no clue what it takes. The strength and the power it takes to walk out a door into that world on a regular basis. That tells you you're not good. You're not worthy. You're not smart enough. You're not capable enough. And while it's a lie, there's still so many who believe it. So since we've all been indoctrinated to lies, America is colonizers. Prince said it a long time ago, the colonized mind. How do we then, one, hold on to our own sense of value for the magnificence and the brilliance that we are, the way that we contribute to this country and the way we still contribute to this country? And then how do we extend our arms and open our hearts to others to get to know who they are and what they're all about beyond what the media tells us? See, we're the ones that walk out the house wondering if our kids are going to be okay. Always have. Always have. It's never been a time that a mom wasn't concerned about her children. We're the ones that walk out, and you see black people, and I see us, we just put our head down, go to work, do what you have to, and come home, because we don't want the confrontations. We don't want to have to deal with it, because we already have to live with it every single moment of every day. The safety and the sanctity is being able to get in your house and close the door. It's like, whew, okay, we made it through the day. But it doesn't have to be that way. I thought we were looking to create a world that our children behind us would be able to step into something more magnificent. And I realized that's what's happening. Our children are stepping up to shift and make a paradigm shift on this planet. We don't have to hate each other just because America put that into indoctrination. But I get now that so many people are comfortable with us being the step stool that you step on and build up from there, that maybe it's hard to think of, America lied to us. And some people are like, oh, well, that's just what they did. They keep on going. But it doesn't change the experience that you have when you're living here. And I know people say, well, leave. You don't want to be here. What would America be like if black folks left? The first thing I think about is the NBA that they want to make so sure can play so they can make more money. I look at the NBA, I look at the music, I look at basketball, football, all the sports that they have. Basically, to me, that's just me, it's just another way of slavery. It's just got a dollar tag on it. We'll pay you millions of dollars. But then we harness what you can say. We let you beat up on women and all this poor behavior that the black community would never tolerate. We control you because we only have you working with our people in our group. So I guess the question becomes, when and how does it stop if we don't stop it? It's a lot to walk around thinking that the world thinks you're not good enough. You know, every time I look at Hidden Figures and I look at Octavia, she went in and snuck in to find out about the IBM machine. And she went and got the information and trained herself and then trained her team so they would be ready. And unlike what happens now, as much as I'd like for it to happen, she told her, she was very clear, I am not going anywhere without my sisters. And when they brought Octavia on for that IBM, she brought in, can't remember now if it was 12 or 20, but she brought all those women with her. It doesn't have to be that way, that we're continuously putting each other down and fighting. But now America's good at what they've done. It's such that, it's almost like a fight for wanting to be accepted, a fight to be loved, a fight to be included. So one of the questions I asked was, why, America? Why? If you're so great, you're so amazing, then tell the truth. Put in the history books all of the inventors, the black inventors, the potato chips, the computers, the phone, the washboard, the ironing board, everything the black people have done and contributed to this country. Let the world know the truth. But I can't see that happening. That then means it's incumbent on parents to tell it. And unfortunately, that probably won't happen. So where does that leave us? We have to begin to have the conversations with each other. We have to begin. And I wish your conversations would stop being about Trump. Trump will be gone at some point. But we have to talk to the people who live right next door to us, right behind us, right on the sides of us. The people we walk by on the street and you put your head down and you look at us and you look in another direction. What, you think it's going to hurt you to say hello to us? Because you've been indoctrinated by white America that this is the way you have to be here in this country. And if you act any other way, what? They're going to send you back where? We all have a choice about how we're going to interact with each other on this planet. And so when I say it's a heart crisis, this is the heart piece. It's how we interact with each other, regardless of this outside appearance. For years, I have said that was the biggest trick that was played on us. And that one comes from God, so I can't say a whole lot about that. Because of the color of a person's skin, we decide how valuable they are. That means that, that means our own sense of value is kind of shot. If we're going to base somebody's value on their skin color, I can go to the sun and get a tan. So what? Now that means something? Versus looking to see their hearts, looking to see who they are. You cannot tell me when you need something, we don't have anything and we'll still give. We will share our last whatever. That's the kind of people we are. That's the way we came into this planet. But you would have to, people who are non-POC people, be willing to extend your hand. You'd have to be curious enough to say, what is it like for you? And care. Because I know some of you are like, I don't care about, I'm sorry, Black people. I got enough going on in my own life. I can't be dealing with all that. But you got to, because we all live together. Many of us work in the same buildings together. So it's a great toll. And I want you to take care of yourself. Everybody, take care of yourself. What did I see on the news or something I looked at last night? Hispanics, it was high for Hispanics, and then Black Americans after that, then Asian, I think. I don't know what the numbers were, so I won't say. But whatever it was hitting the Latino community hard, Hispanic community hard. So now that we all know we've been indoctrinated, we all know that. We all know that America told its own version. I guess if you go to China, they tell their version, or if you go someplace else, they tell their version. I guess my question is, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to bring ourselves together to drop all of that? That superiority, I'm better than you. Nobody says, yeah, better than who? Better than what? And then begin to connect with each other. The humanity that we are, the humanity that we've been brought as in this planet, and get to know each other and extend our hands, the olive branch, across to someone else. To be willing to listen, to be willing to observe. I mean, anytime somebody's in trouble and I see them passing by in my car, I stop and I wait to see if they're okay. Now, I don't know if I'm stopped by the police. Anybody's going to stop and see if I'm okay as a Black woman. They beat us, they rape us, they get us in their cars and do whatever to us. We're still waiting on Breonna Taylor. I mean, that's how we're treated. Would you stop to see if I was okay? Would you stop? Would you take your phone out now to make sure I'm okay? Because now that we understand the tension between people of color, particularly Black Americans in this world, would you? Would you file a report? Would you share your information if you witness something on my behalf? I mean, those are the kind of things that since we don't have the answers to that, we don't know. So I stay up on my self-defense skills. I keep mace with me as I need it. But I dream a dream of a day when we can stop being like sheep and letting America decide how we're going to be and how we're going to interact with each other and how we're going to value each other. And decide for ourselves what that's going to look like and what that's going to be. And take that action. See, you may not be out there protesting. You don't have to. But if you can talk to your neighbors and extend your hand and create some positive relationships, then you've done more than enough. If you can impact 2 or 3 people in your neighborhood, then you've done more than enough. Because part of this is, well, everybody stay in your house, stay in your house, stay in your house. Well, that doesn't help. Because then that's not helping you understand and explore some of the possibilities with other people on the planet. Versus at least when you're walking, matter of fact, I don't know where my walking people are, but I went walking this morning, so maybe I missed them. When you're walking and you're talking and you're interacting, I see more people standing on the corners talking to each other. You can still 6 distance and talk to each other. That's where we're going to make the differences. So it becomes an issue of it doesn't matter what the books say. It doesn't matter what the news say. I've talked to people. I know these people. I know Black people. I know Latino people. I know Native American people. I know them all. And what you're saying isn't true. But what I recently found out from a study is most white people don't have Black friends. So how are they going to get the information? You'd have to be inquiring. You'd have to be inquisitive to want to know enough and ask the question. It can be downright painful living in America. Because I think for some people, it's like, why? Why does it have to be this way? Just downright painful. And then your kids are getting killed. Your boys and your men and husband are being put in prison intentionally, and they're making money off. They privatized it to make money. If you don't think that's modern day slavery, I don't know what you call it. It was one thing, we just had prison. But when they privatized it, it changed. Who makes up most of the prisoners in there? Marijuana is now available. I can go get it anywhere I want to for hardly nothing. But there are brothers in there for what? Doing what they need to do to try and save their families and take care of their families, for selling drugs? I mean, the system itself is just corrupt, because that was the way it was built. It becomes imperative that we become mindful of the impact it all has on us. And more importantly, that it works. Like someone said, they built the system and the system works, because the system is all about separation. Religion separates us. There's so many divides and division in religion. Wealth separates us. So many divisions there, because they put everybody on the bottom to basically do all the menial tasks that's going to help support them. I don't know what America would do if the bottom fell out. If all the people who were off now just stayed off and everybody else walked off their job and nobody was doing anything. What would America do then? So they put everybody down at the bottom, then a few people here, and then the rest is all white. So no one can say they didn't know. No one can say, I don't know. But I guess they can, because there's some people who are not ever around black people, except for people who may come clean their houses, and that's it. But when it comes to us, you got to know it takes a toll on you, to my brothers and to my sisters. You got to take care of yourself. Somewhere in there, you got to let those tears out. Somewhere in there, you got to let that anger out. Somewhere in there, you have got to take care of you. You got to throw your arms around you and know you are God's most amazing masterpiece. God didn't make any junk when God created all of us. And the color that we're supposed to be is the color that we're supposed to be. I realize now that it's us, every 5 or 6 years, that creates an uproar on this planet to bring the attention to the truth. It started in the 60s. Then we had it again in the 90s with Rodney King. We're the ones that rise up at some point to say enough is enough. The only difference now is that it's not even just us. It's everybody can see it. Everybody's aware of it. 7 billion people on this planet are saying we've got to do it different. We've got to honor each other in a different kind of way. So I said to you yesterday that we're up here. We're in the storm. We are here. And for us to get over to here, these conversations have got to happen. And even if you don't have any conversations, which I don't know how you're going to get away from it, what are you thinking about people of color? How can you, in your thinking, be willing to think differently? Maybe that's what I should have called this. How can you think differently? How can you act differently with people that you don't know? It's not our fault that you don't know us. We know you. It's just that you won't stop and talk to us and say hello. Because you're what? Afraid of what? You have no case of a black woman talking to another white woman and she just starts beating you up or yelling and screaming at you. That's just not who we are or what we do. But it takes its toll. It takes its toll every time you walk out that door knowing that someone may have a target. You've got a target on your back and someone may be aiming for it. When you walk into the county, the state, the federal business, that someone's got a target on your back and they may be waiting for you. What is it? Last hired, first fired? It must be nice for those of you to sit on the indoctrinated lies and think you're better than others. Why would that give you such joy and pleasure? And I get it, because America is ruthless. So I guess you figure wherever you are on the chain, if America just leaves you the hell alone and you can live your life, you're okay. And I get that. But for us, we never get the okay. It won't stop me. I keep doing what I'm doing. I keep doing my business. I keep empowering women. I keep ending up in those spaces where I'm one of the few black people there. I still keep showing up in those spaces. I had to develop that muscle. I still keep showing up. I still keep letting you see who I am and what I do and how I do it. I don't know if it's going to change your opinion of me or not. And frankly, I don't care. I've got to do what God has ordained me to do as my work and my career and those kind of things. Along with my family helped me out, because in the 60s, whatever, 70s, they put me in San Bernardino, which was all white. So I had to deal with that. Then I moved to Sacramento. at that time, and it was primarily white, so I had to deal with that there. So I've been in enough white situations that I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I can navigate where I need to be and know when I need to take a stand or say whatever. But just for the average person who's living their life and just wants to take care of their families and their kids, it's a toll living in America. And we could make it different for ourselves if we, the people, we, is that a W? Yeah, we, W-E, the people, would just be willing to see each other for who we are, not who America says we are, not what the media says we are. Just look in your community. Now I know some of my people, I know my people. I know, depending on what community, and we're good for having cars in the driveway, but so are other people too. There's another group of people that always has cars in the driveway. I won't say anything about that. But we are some good-hearted people. Really good-hearted people. So if we all know we've all been indoctrinated with lies, my call for you is to begin to tear away, pull away, and strip away those lies and get to know the truth about the people that you're hearing about. Because it's all lies. Our history did not start with slavery. We had families. We had a religion. You'd be surprised how much of the African tradition is in Christian religion. You don't even know the half of the scheme that America has put together. You would be surprised. Do you remember, Africa had the diamonds, blood diamonds. You guys came to us and took our diamonds. You could have just left us the hell alone in Africa and we've been fine. But no, America did what it does. You go here ravishing this. You go here ravishing that. I'm starting to wonder, well, who the heck is America? Now think about it. Because you're going everywhere taking stuff. And there's a group of people that think that's okay. But here's the thing. God, life, and the universe made sure there was enough for everybody. So you don't have to take anything. There's no need to push people down, say you're less than. How do you stand on that, America? You've raped women. You've raped children. The Christian Crusade raped women and raped children to make those people decide that they had to take Christianity because what they had was considered pagan. Who put you in charge in the religion and the teachings and the spirituality? So this is the change we get to make. And I almost think that to the degree that we make it is to the degree that we'll move on and move, from up here where we're hovering and move on down into something else. It's us being willing to open our hearts. That's the heart crisis. And look at the brother and sister next to you as just as valuable as you. We all have a heart, but we all have some kind of a heart. We have a heart. We all have lungs. Minus surgeries. Okay, don't go into all that. We all have the basic body parts. So God has created us equal. And then man came along and decided it had to be all the other. So it takes its toll. And the biggest thing is it starts to impact who we think we are. It starts to impact how we see ourselves. So you walk out in the world and you're like, oh, I'm a beautiful black woman. I've got this degree. I've got that degree. I've got so many properties. I've got my house. I've got this. According to America's standards, I've made it. And yet I walk off my door very alert and very aware that none of that matters. It's like, what did you do it all for? Well, I got a son. I got to take care of him. I got more generations to come. But it impacts what we think about ourselves and who we think we are. So I need to say to you, take care of you in the midst of this. Turn the TVs off. That's why I tell you turn the TVs off, because they're not telling you the truth. I looked at Spectrum 1 last night, and it was the most incredible news I had seen. They interviewed the freedom fighters. They went and talked to so many different people about what was going on. That's the news. I didn't hear anything about all this stuff with Trump. I didn't hear anything about the elections. It was just people talking about how they're having an impact, how we're bringing our communities back together. This one guy was doing basketball hoops and whatever business. Oh, and he was doing it out in Venice, and then that all got shut down. He was trying to figure out, how do I still do my business? So he had this huge bus because he had 2 or 3 projects, and he put a hoop on the front of it. And then he goes in the community and he takes the hoop for the kids to play basketball. And I'm getting tired of the color because I don't know what he was. He was light skinned. I don't know if he's Latino. I don't know if he's Native American. I don't know what he was. But there he was in the community, bringing his hoop bus to help with the dreams for children. There's so much we could do together. There's so much we could make to really be the great country that we could be. But it requires that we have to talk to each other. We have to be willing to look at someone. I watch people when we walk. I look because I'm saying hello. Still, people still don't say hello, and that's fine. Or they'll be walking and walking. I'm like, okay, are you going to say it? I'm not going to say it. And they'll go around my house, they'll go around, they'll go around the corner, and they got to come around on this side. And she's like, hi. I'm like, hi. But don't miss that we have a part in this. Don't get so caught up in the election and I know it's so much, the defunding, and I know people are unemployed. I know you're concerned about having a place to live. I know all of that. But part of that too, it's like a 7-8 prone process we're in, is that we have the power to change things based on one by one individuals that we talk to and share with. Anytime something happens and there's a black person around, you can be sure we'll help you if you don't make us feel like you don't want our help. That's just who we are as a people. So accept the fact that we've all been indoctrinated. The indoctrination is lies, is what goes for this house. And when you come to that house, that's what you have to do. So this is America's house, but we don't have to stand for it. I think I said something to my son the other day. Whoa, this new generation, he is very clear. The 13th Amendment needs to be changed from whatever it says about slavery or whatever, because there's still loopholes in the Constitution. Even the Constitution says we ain't shit, basically. I mean, you don't get a better system than that. We need to be looking at and learning from what America has created, because America has left nothing unturned when it comes to us, not anybody else. So you have to wonder, what is the war on black folks? And the war is that America lied. And America doesn't want its people who believe it to find out the truth. And I just want you to know, it takes a toll, because there's nothing out there that's affirming for us. We affirm ourselves. We don't even have a community. I went down in LA yesterday because my son was gigging somewhere. I went to Lamert. When I grew up, Lamert Park was the spot in Los Angeles. Lamert and Crenshaw, on Sundays, the lowriders would fill down Crenshaw. Every politician, every musician, everybody came through Lamert Park. Well, gentrification came, and now it's not much. We don't have black communities anymore. So what affirms us if it's not we affirming ourselves? Because America is affirming what's white, as opposed to what's right. But we get to do that. We do. We get to do that. So I want you to take care of yourself. Don't be afraid of mental health. What sustains me in this whole process is I am a licensed clinical therapist. I'm a social worker, have my LCSW, I'm going to take my continuing education classes. And I know can't even go for mental health, because most mental health workers are people who don't understand us. But, in your communities, you can get it. Talking to people from your church, you can get it. Or just talking with each other. Because we have no support out there for us. Nothing out there in America affirms us. Nothing. Even the commercials I watch on TV, more and more black women are with Latino men. Black women are with Asian men. It's rare that you even see black couples on TV. Have you noticed how they're marketing us? I mean, I catch everything that America is doing. I thought, wow. Interesting. When is that woman going to have when's there going to be a black family on the TV again? And that's the perceptions that they put out there. How will white people ever know us if they don't have any black friends? So we got to say hi to them. Hey, how you doing? They don't have any black friends. They don't have any Latino friends. So you can't be mad at every single white person in America. They're just like going on in life. They got the white skin. They can go on with life. Not everybody. So you can't be mad at them, because it's like, well, they told us the same story they told you. How are we supposed to know that wasn't true? And you don't know because, and they said, okay, don't read that, read this. It wasn't, they're wiped out. So how do we move beyond the indoctrination that has happened to all of us? To recognize there was a power and a presence that created humanity. And in humanity, we're one. And in humanity, you Understand it takes a toll. It takes a toll living in America. And yeah, we'll go. We'll go to where someone told me they went and they love us and they want us. There's countries we can go to. That's true. That's true. But I'm not sure that that's our mission. There's a reason God put us here. There's a reason our colors are the way they are and things happen the way they are. And I get it now. Every 5 to 7 years, you can track it. Black folks is rising up saying, hey, we got to do things different. Come on, let's do it different. And this time, this is the biggest do it different than I have ever seen. I'm so glad to witness this process. We have been marching since March. So April, May, June, July, and August, we've been marching for 5 months. They have burnt, or someone, I'm not sure who it was, burnt a police station in Minneapolis. Now, we're not sure if that's people of color or if that was the Aryan Nation or somebody else, because it went up so fast and it seemed like it was an accelerant that was faster than just if black people just went up there and started a fire. But it's still moving. It is going to keep moving. We've got to keep the momentum. We are not in a 5K. I ran one of those. We're not even in a half marathon. We are in a full 26-mile marathon to get to what it is that we want. So now that we all know we've been indoctrinated, it's on us individually to really look at what do we get to do differently that can move us closer together. You know, we can just burst out of this idea of what America is and create something new right in front of America's face when we come together and connect with each other. So that's the wisdom, is we still have the power. And this evolution and transformation is for us to transform our hearts about each other. That's what it's all about. That's why we home. That's why we're in the neighborhoods looking at each other for the first time. It's for us to transform our hearts toward each other, to truly recognize our oneness. Hi, Kat. How you doing? Put it in the light, right? Hey, C. Thanks for being on here. Thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your high fives. Have a great day. They say for some reason you keep freezing up, but still was able to comprehend. Golly, that's interesting. The more that happened to me the other day. Now, you know, that's interesting because before I never froze up at all. And I'm sitting in the same place because I'm looking at that picture behind me. So, okay. You know, I didn't boost the one I had yesterday because it froze. And I didn't know how much people could hear. When I played it back, it wasn't as coherent. Okay, universe, you need to help out with that. Okay, when I come tomorrow, please make it clear. Okay, ladies, have a great day. Take good care. Peace and blessings to all of you. Know that you can do it. If you don't want to march, it's fine. You know, you can send in your donations, but one of the simplest ways you can do it, and Michelle Obama told us years ago, get to know the people around you, because then that helps them get to know who we are, and then that gradually begins to change the energy and the atmosphere between us and how we interact with each other and care about each other and look out for each other. Okay. Okay, take good care. Have a great day. Bye for now.